Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are talking about a man who has become a legend. This man is only known as the Man in the Iron Mask. During the reign of French King Louis XIV, the Man in the Iron Mask was imprisoned at the Bastille prison from 1669 until his death in 1703. His identity and true crime for imprisonment remain unknown. Even stranger was that no one even knew what he looked like. The prisoner never was seen without a black cloth that covered his face. His story has become a French legend. Countless stories and writings by Voltaire and Alexandre Dumas have helped to popularize the myth or the legend of this prisoner. So the question is, did he even exist? And if so, was his mask made of black cloth? Or was it indeed a man who was forced to live behind an iron mask? Hundreds of different candidates have been proposed as being the prisoner, ranging from a member of the royal family to a disgraced French general, and even the playwright Molière. Still, evidence indicates that only two prisoners were in custody during the time frame around the mask: Ercole Mattioli and Eustache Doge. Mattioli was an Italian count who was abducted and jailed after he tried to double-cross Louis XIV during political negotiations in the late 1670s. He was a longtime prisoner, and his name is similar to Marchioli, the alias under which the masked man was buried. Even more convincing is that Louis XV and Louis XVI both supposedly said that the masked man was an Italian nobleman. Unfortunately, Mattioli died in 1694, several years too early for him to be the famous man in the mask. With this in mind, many believe then that Eustache Doge is the more likely prisoner. His 1669 arrest warrant included a letter from a royal minister instructing jailers to restrict his contact with others and to threaten him with death if he speaks one word except about his actual needs. Doge was frequently transferred between several prisons and was transported in a covered chair so that passerbys could not see his face. While Doge is seen as the probable man in the mask, historians still don't know who he truly was, or if that was his name or a given pseudonym. One theory holds that he was a lowly valet, implicated in a political scandal. Other theories state he could have also been identified as a debauched nobleman, a failed assassin, or even the twin brother of King Louis XIV. The Man in the Iron Mask died in 1703 from natural causes, while still being incarcerated at the Bastille in Paris, France. He was believed to be around 45 to 50 years old when he died. There is no historical evidence that ever suggested the mask was made of iron. Some historians still believe in other theories of the masked man. Some believe he could have been a prince or a nobleman who had committed a grave offense against the monarchy. This theory suggests that the mask was used to conceal his identity, preventing any potential claim to the throne. In the 17th century, the French monarchy was marked by power struggles, intrigue, and secrecy. It's possible that the Man in the Iron Mask was a victim of these treacherous times, and was therefore silenced and imprisoned to maintain power. The tale of the Man in the Iron Mask has also led many to speculate about the king's role in his imprisonment. Was Louis XIV involved in the capture and imprisonment, or was he simply a pawn in a larger game of power and politics? In the late 19th century, historian Franz Funk Bertenau proposed that the Man in the Mask was the son of Anna of Austria and the Cardinal Mazarin, making him the illegitimate half-brother of King Louis XIV. This idea was then turned into a novel by Alexandre Dumas with a little twist. The prisoner was then changed to the identical twin brother of the king. He was put in prison to hide him and keep him from taking the throne. Twins were a threat to orderly succession, but no one could kill a noble prince, so the second twin was masked and kept in prison until his death. Other stories have gone on to say they were brothers, just not twin brothers. Noble births were a public spectacle. Hundreds of people would come and witness the queen or the princess giving birth, so the story of a secret twin brother could not have been hidden in a very historical situation. Voltaire created that part of the story to protest the monarchy, which imprisoned him in the Bastille for about 2 years. It is during this time that Voltaire heard about a former masked prisoner. There are a few interesting points about this masked prisoner. He was treated very respectfully and was given spacious cells and even furniture. Whatever he requested was given to him. He was able to play music from his cell, in which some prisoners even wrote accounts about music being played during random hours of the day. These requests for a prisoner were uncommon, so whomever this actually was had to be someone of a higher regard. Scientifically speaking, if a man wore an iron mask for years on his face, it would actually grow microorganisms, which would slowly build up fat deposits on the face, and with wearing an iron mask, that would make cuts on the face or the head, which would then infect the wound, killing the prisoner. So the legend of an iron mask is most likely a false story by Voltaire and Dumas. However, many guards and prisoners did see a prisoner who wore a black velvet mask, and if he took it off, he was to be killed immediately. He was even ordered to not speak to anyone under penalty of death as well. A record account from the island prison of Sainte Marguerite, where he was once held prisoner, describes this story. The masked prisoner, who at this prison had a cell with a sea view, had thrown out his cell window a silver plate he ate off of, that he engraved somehow with his true identity. The fisherman, not knowing how to read, decided to give the plate back to the jail guards. He could have been executed for possibly knowing the identity of the man in the mask. Since he could not read, his life was spared. The silver plate was then destroyed, most likely by melting it down. The man in the mask would be transferred once again to what would be his final prison, the Bastille in Paris, France. He would remain here until his death in 1703. He was buried with a new fake name, Marchioli, which is etched on his tombstone. All the jail cells he had ever vacated were cleaned extremely and thoroughly once he left, and then re-cleaned again after his death, implicating that he never existed. This story has intrigued people for centuries. In 1998, the movie Man in the Iron Mask, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was released based on the story by Dumas and Voltaire. The movie itself is a bit Hollywood-esque, putting emphasis on 4 brave musketeers who are involved in an escape attempt to release the man in the true Iron Mask, also played by DiCaprio, who is the twin brother of King Louis XIV. Although not based on the true story, it is a pretty good movie. The man in the velvet mask, as we should call him, was a real person whose story is still unknown due to the secrecy which surrounded him. It is important to keep in mind that these are all proposed theories, and the true historical mystery may never be revealed due to the passing of time and the destruction of the Bastille during the French Revolution, which destroyed documents regarding this famous masked prisoner. Well, that's all I have for you in today's episode. I hope you like and enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and watch the video here and the playlist here. And also leave in the comments below, who do you think was the man in the iron mask or the man in the velvet mask. And I'll see you all in the next episode.